That's the question.
Yeah.
And there have been many warriors in history. The Spartans are a very good example. They practiced stoicism, toughness, didn't complain, willing to sacrifice their lives, put themselves in harm's way. That's our traditional idea of the warrior, soldiers, police, and so on. But I have known many of these people, and they're still striving to find a peaceful heart.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the equation, there are peacemakers, peaceful people, the yogis, the young guys who wear beads and all white robes, and when they shake my hand, they only hold my fingertips. I don't know why. I just have this perverse feeling. I want to slap them around a little bit, Come on, man up, But the point is, they have a peaceful heart. They're nourishing, kind, vulnerable, but maybe not too many of them have a warrior spirit. But there have been people in history. In the U.S., Martin Luther King Jr., who his work is based on Mahatma Gandhi of India, and other people I would describe as peaceful warriors more traditionally. They were peaceful and believed in nonviolence, but they had great strength, inner strength. And I'm sure there are examples in every country. But I prefer the term that applies to each of us in everyday life. It doesn't have to be grand machismo or toughness. It's about spirit. And we can bring that to most of us have. We can all think back on times we've experienced physical, emotional, and mental pain that have brought us to where we are now. And that has hidden gifts. Any adversity, it has hidden gifts of strength and wisdom and perspective. So we don't have to seek out adversity, but daily life is a form of spiritual weight training to strengthen our spirits.
Very true. How have you been able to handle fear when it comes down to inner peace? Because I know that fear kind of wrestles with that peaceful spirit, and the warrior spirit as well kind of makes you want to be afraid and want to pull back a little bit. So how have you been able to manage fear in your life?
I suppose the best way I can express that is with a favorite quotation by a boxing coach named Cus D'Amato. He said, "Heroes and cowards feel exactly the same fear. They just respond differently." So my approach to fear, and remember, in gymnastics is a warrior sport. And the reason I call it a warrior sport is you can break your neck, you can die doing it. Where when you go out to practice on the tennis court, you're not likely to die or break your neck or have, that sort of thing. And swimming, same thing. So certain sports and martial arts lend themselves to this facing our mortality and really getting out there with a high level of risk. So I call that a warrior sport. So fear was a natural part of my training. And so was failure. I failed 50 times a day, crashing and crashing and crashing until I could do it. So to me, failure was just took it in stride and kept going. It wasn't some big deal. I got used to it. And I got used to fear. And so I finally realized that the only difference between fear and excitement is whether you're breathing. So I do recommend take a deep breath. And, if someone ever holds you up on the street at gunpoint, you can go, "I'm so excited." It's like, so it's not about not feeling fear. That's not within our control. We can't, by our will, just feel whatever we want to feel and not feel what we don't want to feel. Feelings change like the weather all the time. So do thoughts. Sometimes my thoughts are positive, sometimes they're negative. I've done a lot of meditation, read the books on positive thinking, but basically the mind has all sorts of discursive thoughts that pop up, and they vary. So my approach these days in my own evolution is that I focus not so much on inner work. There's nothing wrong with that, meditation and self-observation and so on, but I focus more on behavior because our lives, if we look at our lives, they're shaped primarily by what we've done over time, not just what we felt or thought.
Yeah.
So while the thoughts and feelings are coming and going and changing, positive, negative, the major question before us in any moment is, what do I need to do now in line with my purpose? And then doing it. And some of us need a big, long process to do what we need to do. But it really comes down to just do it, because eventually Everything comes down to that. I don't feel like taking out the trash. I'm tired, but it needs to go out. So I take it out. Mm. And the same way we can do that, we can also act at times when we're anxious, when we have to speak in public, when we're in a social situation that feels uncomfortable. We can still do it while feeling uncomfortable. We can feel afraid and do something courageous. Mm-hmm. So that is a real form of liberation, practical, where our behaviors are no longer dependent on trying to motivate ourselves or feel the right feeling and think the right thoughts to do it. Mm-hmm. And many of us have been conditioned to think that's what it's all about. That's where it's at. Fix our inside, have the right thoughts and feelings. But I don't know. I've done a great deal of work, as you'll read about in my memoir. And I really concluded that it's really outer work. What are we going to do right now? And we do it.